Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a very interesting time period currently here in the commentary community. Now, I used to watch a fella back in the day that went by the name of Kwite. I'm sure we all know who Kwite is, especially with everything that's been going on over the past 24 hours or so. Now, Kwite is an individual that's been around the commentary community for quite some time now. I actually used to watch the guy back in early 2020 before I even started watching people like Optimus or Pegasus or Ichido. God, saying that makes me realize just how much commentary content I used to watch and how AIDS that is. Jesus. Anyways, now Kwite has found himself in quite a fucked up situation, if I do say so myself. God, that was so unfunny. Before we go any further with the video, I understand I just made a horrible pun and I really don't deserve anything from you, but I do just want to ask if you enjoy the video at any point, be sure to leave a like. If you're new around here, consider subscribing and turning notifications on. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into what's actually taking place recently with Kwite. So recently, a Twitter user came out talking about a situation that had taken place between them and Kwite. It was a very, very detailed explanation in the form of a twitlonger, so I figured we should go ahead and take a look at that now and talk about anything else about the situation after that. To start, in the beginning, I had found Kwite's channel when it had less than 500 subscribers, and as a teenager wanted to make art for him because he didn't use his face in his videos. I thought he would have an easier time if I drew him and recommended he wore sunglasses and a face mask instead of manually keying his face out with a black box. There, I essentially came up with a Sona with him and drew various talk sprites for him, for free, that he only ever used maybe once. We were around the same age and slowly began talking and bonding over shared mental health issues. Well, that's healthy. At this time, I was undiagnosed with autism and borderline personality disorder, which I have diagnoses of now, and thus was unaware of how these would affect me in the coming relationship we had, and how he would, most likely without knowing, take advantage of me. Okay, so I've recorded this a couple of different times now because I really want to be able to say this right. Like, I want to be able to get across exactly what I mean when I say it. But I want to touch on the ending of that paragraph there because here's the thing, dude. If you're in a relationship where your partner isn't accommodating your mental illnesses, or at least trying to, you could potentially be in an emotionally abusive relationship at that point. Manipulative, toxic, whatever you want to say. But if neither of you knew that you had these mental illnesses back in the day, why would you even bring this up? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing he could have done. There's nothing you could have done, and you had the fucking shit. Yeah, it seems stupid to me to bring it up. Because here's the thing, fellas, she has some really hard-hitting stuff on him later on in the twitlonger, but this, like I said, just seems completely unnecessary, and it almost just seems like it's intended to pile on a little bit more. Which is not necessary, because like we'll get to in a minute or two here, he does some really messed up stuff that he still hasn't denied doing. So I guess just to wrap that point up, obviously I don't know what took place within the relationship. Maybe Kwite was just an abhorrent piece of shit to this individual for no reason. But if there were just instances in which he was trying to operate as a normal human being within the relationship, and without knowing you had these mental illnesses, kind of had a negative effect on you because of the mental illnesses, I just don't see it as something that's worth bringing up. Anyways, let's move on. Alright, so just so nobody's confused while we're going into this next part of the twitlonger, we're not reading the whole thing. I'll go ahead and link it down below if you guys are interested in reading the whole thing, but this is just the next part I decided to cover in the video. In the backseat of my own car, he wrecked me. All the while I was telling him how it hurt and how I didn't want to do this anymore. He kept telling me, "This is what you wanted," as he went, but soon got bored of it and got out. I sat in the car by myself for a bit before going to join him in the movie we had planned to see together and to, quote, make up. He had me buy him popcorn. I put the event out of my mind as just two virgins being bad at sex and hung out with him for the rest of the day as he was still one of my closest friends. I have a video with him to prove that we were together at the time that I was able to post only for myself after begging him to take pictures with me because we were friends. So like I was saying before when I was extending off the first paragraph that we went over, she has some really heavy stuff on him, man, and Kwite hasn't come out to defend any of this yet. Which is like, I'm sorry, dude, if there was any situation in which something like this was taking place, you bet your ass that I would be dropping everything else to, like, I know it's just commentary shit, I know it's just YouTube shit, but you're being accused of legitimately sexually assaulting an individual. Where's your response, dude? Where are you at? Like, even if your only response is, yeah, I did it, I'm gonna take some time away from the internet and hope you guys welcome me back, you know, whenever I decide to come back, like most people that get accused of this kind of shit do. Even if that's your only response, like, where is it? You know what I mean? It doesn't take this long for somebody to respond to a situation like this, unless they're trying to prepare for some, like, snaky loophole way out of it. Now, something I wish I touched on a lot earlier on in this video, and I'm sorry that I didn't, is the alleged victim in this situation actually has a bunch of different things proving that they were in contact with Kwite. They have literal pictures with Kwite. We have, like, legitimately confirmed face reveals of Kwite now because of this situation. And they also confirmed that they were in contact with him on multiple different social media platforms on his main account and also Discord as well. Which the Discord is the most interesting, and the reason I bring it up is because of the Discord. Jalen just dropped a video which I'm so on how I feel about Jalen. She's kind of a moron, but you could think what you want about Jalen, but she came out with a short recently going over this situation a little bit further, showing us that Kwite had actually deactivated the Discord account that the alleged victim came out saying was his. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that short now.
So as you guys know, recently some very serious accusations have come out against the commentary YouTuber Kwite. Now, as of yet, Kwite still hasn't released any sort of response. Anyway, it appears that Kwite has deactivated his Discord account. Now, a lot of people were asking for like more concrete proof that this was in fact Kwite's account, as it could potentially be faked. Well, the victim made a video like scrolling through his account, and it's very blatantly clear that this was without a doubt Kwite's Discord account, and he has deactivated it, which is extremely sus.
Like I said earlier, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about Jalen, but her coverage and content is always pretty good, so thank you for that, Jalen. I don't know, man, what do you guys think about this? I don't want to stretch this video out any longer than it needs to be. We have pretty much all the information that this situation has to offer so far. If anything else comes out, I'll be sure to let you guys know. If you did enjoy, though, be sure to leave a like. Consider subscribing if you're new around here. And with all that out of the way, I'm out of here.